Y'all, welcome to another episode of Pierre's Panic Room. You know how we do it, season 5. Yo, man, first of all, thank everybody. I'm gonna thank everybody for coming. Whenever you see me on the street, tell me how much you love the show, man, how you enjoy it, you watch it all the time. Start telling other people about it though, man. You gotta tell folks about my show now, okay? I need it to be spread out, okay? I got these guests coming, I need the world to see these guests, okay? But again, thank y'all so much, man. I'm excited about season 5, so we about to rock it off. Every season, I think I got great guests, and this time is no different, man. This gentleman here, I've known him for a long time. I've seen him a lot, and I'm kind of known him, but then when I did my research, I was like, damn, this boy put that work in, man. He don't put that work in. We're not gonna talk about everything, so don't hit me in the comments. You ain't mentioned about that. I'm gonna talk about what I want to talk about and whatever he wants to talk about. So Dan, what you talking about, y'all? Y'all just sit back, relax, and listen. Give it up for the one and only Mr. Flex Alexander.
What up?
Wow, brother.
What up, Pierre?
It's good to see you, man. I'm gonna tell you something on the real, man. You one of the most pleasant motherfuckers I ever. Every time I see you, you smiling and shit. Always have like you always like have no worries. But I went through your resume and I seen some stuff and I asked about you. So I know you've had some ups and downs and stuff, but you could never tell, man. You showed them 32s, boy.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes, they say you got to smile to keep them crying.
I know that's right. Man,
especially in our business.
Come on, this business, man. Y'all have no idea.
At all.
And here's the funny thing. Some people, I don't like when they say, well, you're in the business, you should expect that. Well, you don't really know certain things. Just like marriages turn into divorce, so people buy a house and they lose a house. Yeah. You don't go into it thinking it's going to be terrible. You might have heard of some stories, but until you get into it, you're like, hold up. It's a little more difficult than I thought. And the fact that you've been in it for 30 years and you're still doing it, man. That's a testament, brother. We've seen people been gone. No disrespect to folks who chose different life. We understand why they chose different life. I damn sure do. I'm like, okay. When I see somebody else might be an insurance salesman or health advocate or something different, I'm like, it needs to be a TV show or a comedian, whatever. I'm like, bro. It's about your happiness. Damn what the fans say if they see you like, you're doing this. Yeah. I'm living. No one said I had to be in this business forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So let's go back, man, with your history.
Oh, man.
I want to go way back. You're from the Bronx.
Yes.
Okay, the Boogie Down Bronx.
Boogie Down Bronx.
That's where hip hop started.
Yes,
that's what they say.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what is that Cool Herc? Is that Cool Herc?
It Cool Herc. It is. Listen, it is.
But people say no. People say Harlem, the Brooklyn.
Nah, the Bronx.
The Bronx.
Everybody know what Peter Gunn say. If it wasn't for the Bronx, this rap shit. Ooh, can I say that? Probably would never be going on.
Right.
Uptown, baby, we gets down.
Now let me ask you. You came up in the Bronx. You was a teenager during them heavy times.
Yeah.
Now I've seen. I've seen pictures of the Bronx, New York, but Bronx in the 70s. I thought it was in Baghdad. They showing Baghdad? Afghanistan?
Yeah.
Wow, and you came up during that time.
Yeah, we had for real abandoned buildings. I mean, we used to play in abandoned buildings. We used to flip on the dirty mattress, play tag, manhunt, run through like that's what we did on the daily. And I'm like, shit, we really did that. We really got out of that. And I was telling my daughter that because we can be overprotective parents at times. We just know where the times are.
Sure.
So I thought about it and I was like, it's so deep that when we were growing up, and I'm sure even when you grew up, you just think about it. Our mothers, they didn't have no cell phone, pager. We just went outside and we came back in before the street lights came on. But we were out there with no communication, nothing, and we were fine.
But also the people, it was a code.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Protect the young.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really no snatching people and kids and all that kind of not in a massive way. I didn't say it never happened before, but you know what I'm saying? Never. That's when old folks could tell you what to do and you do it.
Yeah, they could. Your neighbor could whip you.
Right, exactly.
Take you home and tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I could definitely see that. But okay, so you came up. So when the lights went out in you were about 7 years old. Was that the Bronx or was that Brooklyn?
The blackout.
The blackout.
It was. Excuse me. It was the whole city.
The whole city.
New York. It was out.
That shit was wild.
It was. Listen, my brother stole the TV.
Who didn't?
And my mom, he brought the TV back and she made him take it. She said, get that TV out of there, because when the cops come, your ass going to jail.
Right.
I'll never forget that blackout.
That blackout, 77.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. I shared a room with my grandmother.
Right.
So,
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was real projects.
Okay.
And I remember he came in and my mom.
Got a TV, Mama? Got a TV?
Yeah, got a TV, and it was a dope TV, but we could not keep it, man.
Right.
We could not keep it. But it was scary. You could hear stuff breaking outside, people running.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they would start fires. Like, it was crazy. It was like right on Tremont Avenue, right where I lived. Like that whole, it was stores all up and down Tremont. I mean, they was going in there and pulling up the gates. Like, it was crazy.
But you were here in the 92 riots too.
I was here.
Yeah,
I was
that was wild too.
I came out here. I'm like, what the hell going on?
Yeah. I was new too. Yeah. And let me tell you, I wanted to go out there. I ain't gonna lie.
I know.
I seen too many people taking stuff. I was like, oh.
Listen.
But then the Asians pulled out that pistol. I was like, oh. The store owners.
Yeah, they weren't.
Don't take my stuff.
They protecting their stuff.
Yeah.
And for, coming out here at that time, I'm like, yo, all you hear about or you've heard about, gang life in LA and all that stuff. So you come here like, okay, I'll make sure I don't want to be in, none of them areas or whatever. So, I'm in the valley and I'm seeing all this stuff happen. I'm like, damn, like it's really like that. People just got tired.
Yeah. And so being born in the 70s or 70, by the time you were in, teenage age, that crack had hit. New York was heavy.
Yeah.
And one thing, before I knock New York, it went all over the place. But New York had such an energy and liveliness. Let's be real. I mean, New York was on 10, 12 all the time. All the time. So with you growing up in the Bronx, that was a rough part.
Yeah.
The crack hit, the drug dealers hit, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. You was out in them streets.
Yeah.
I heard you got caught up a little bit.
Yeah, got caught up a little bit. My family. Crack hit my home. I had, two brothers that had become crack addicts. My mom started with, cocaine addiction.
Wow.
And my mom was a functioning cocaine addict. She would hold 2-3 jobs, still work, and get high. And it tore my family apart. It was so bad, the whole area. People who you looked up to, were just down bad.
Wow.
Were down bad. And for me, I don't know how I rationalized it, but I left and I ended up going out to Brooklyn, and one of my boys was hustling, and I would see him every week come home with just the fly stuff. And I was like, what you doing, man? He was like, yo, you want to get down? I'm like, what is it? And he told me, and I just said, yeah, I'm down. So we were working for these Jamaican cats, and we sold weight. And in my rationale, it was like me kind of taking it back out on what had happened to my family, if that makes sense. I was to
do other people.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and hurt my family, so I'm gonna go. And it made sense to me at the time, when I was young, and all I thought about was the money.
Right, sure.
But obviously later, as I, decided to this ain't for me.
Sure.
I just realized that,
But what made your mom, being a strong mom she was, telling your brother to bring the TV back?
Yeah.
Slide into something. Was your father around at the time?
My father wasn't around.
Oh, well, okay. Damn.
I had only seen my pops when I was about 5. Then I saw him again before he passed when I was 18. He died in '89.
Do you think people get in, like a person like your mother, she was good, upstanding citizen. Do you think like loneliness, depression, like what makes people go? Because I never done it. So
my mom was partied.
Oh,
my mom partied.
Shit.
My mom, My mom worked for Nicky Barnes back in the day.
And she wanted her to bring a TV back. What's wrong with it? Come on, what kind of mama you got, man?
My mom's,
what kind of duality we got here going on?
She knew all of them. Frank Lugat, she knew all of them. She would, they would use mules, the women as mules back then. So they pack all the stuff, go from drug house to drug house, and she was known for her cooking. So she would,
in more ways than one.
Right? Yeah, literally. So she would not only cook the crack, but she would make plates. Chicken, mac and cheese, like they loved to cook. And so she would cook for them, also being a mule and all that stuff. So she was around it. So I think recreationally at that time, that's what it was. 70s, it was recreation, and into the 80s, it was just like, as you did, you sniff you some coke and you went out and you partied.
Right.
So I think was her mentality, because she didn't fall off. Like she didn't, wasn't out there like, oh.
Right.
But she
functioned.
Was functioning, still fly. But it was the that was Studio 54 days. Sure. That was that was what people did.
Could you tell your mom was doing something maybe? You know?
Oh yeah, I'd be sitting in the room and watch her. She'd have a folded up dollar bill, and I'd watch her sniff. And I didn't realize really what it was until later. And I remember I took a freeze. I tapped it. I didn't know I tapped it on my tongue. My whole tongue was numb. Wow. And I was like, what the, and that made me be like, okay, I don't never want that shit.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Now, when you were doing your street stuff, making money, you were still living at home?
No, I had my own place.
Oh, you moved? Okay, okay.
And what we would do is we would go up to where we were working in Rochester.
Right. Would your mother know you were doing it too? You think she knew it or something? Had an idea?
My mom.
She know what happened in the street now.
Listen, I was coming home with mad fat watch, gold rings, rope chain. Sure. That was back in that era.
Right.
And I told my mom I was working at the phone company.
Hell no.
She was like, phone company in my ass.
Right. She knew.
She knew what was up.
Right.
She knew what was up. But one thing about my mom, I'm gonna say this. I was able to go through all the phases I went through. She allowed me to do that because she was like, you got to be a man, you got to grow, and you got to figure it out for yourself. Yeah. Like I can sit here and tell you, don't do that, but you're gonna do what you want to do.
Wow.
So you'll figure it out.
Well, so your family structure was what? How many brothers, sisters? How did it go down?
I had 3 brothers.
Okay. And you felt how they felt the age?
I had 3 brothers on my mom's side, so I had because my father had other kids too. So I had 3 brothers
that lived with you basically.
Yeah,
okay, lived with you.
So 3 brothers and a sister. My sister lived in Jacksonville, Florida. She got married early, 17. She was out, and my other brother Larry lived somewhere else, and I was in the house with my other 2 brothers, and they were there. And then one went away to the service. And
this was during that time, like the mid-'80s type of thing, you're thinking like that.
And then I had one brother, other brother who was on crack, he was gay. Okay. So, that was back when it wasn't cool being gay in the projects. You know what I mean? So I had all kind of dynamics going.
Okay. It's cool to be gay now in the project?
I'm just saying, like, it's different now. Now you can be project,
like, I mean, Hollywood.
It's different. You know what I mean? And
in the hood.
It was back then.
Right. Oh, hell no. You wore tight shorts back then. I mean,
back then it was rough, man. And I watched what he endured. I watched him get beat up. I watched him, getting teased. So I watched that.
You know what's funny about that? Strange about that? I think, because society's still out here. I'm telling you, the gays are getting it right. The people gays are getting it right, but it's still not an open door policy. It's not easy for them. Right. But I feel like, and it has nothing to do with us being touched or anything. But I think we're in a liberal city. When we live in Hollywood, we have to learn. We're around those people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You get to know them. You get to know they're regular people too. You know what I'm saying? Just be gay. But if you go take it down North Carolina, Stockton, some little hole in the wall, little small cities or whatever. Toledo, Ohio. Exactly. They're like, man, you gay, you talk to him. Like, really? I think it's because, I think it's
that old school mentality. It's that, but, being around the country, I've been in the last couple of years, I was doing this play, New Jack City, and we traveled around, and I got to see a lot of places have changed. A lot of places are more progressive, and it's not like it was when I was younger.
Sure. I mean,
and, again, watching my brother go through that, and I've never been like, get away. Like, I saw it up front in my home,
right?
And I loved him,
right?
And that was all that mattered.
Sure,
what I'm saying? And my brother was amazing. He was an amazing spirit, amazing spirit. He taught me a lot,
right?
And I think right now he would be one. I hate that he never got to see the stuff that happened for me. You know what I mean? On this side.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. No, sure.
That's one of the things I think about.
But then, I'm gonna say lucky. Lucky that you grew up around something like that to get to know. Yeah. Just to accept other people that aren't the same as you.
Yeah, but it's my and I talk about that. I've had a conversation because I've heard people go like, I've heard people say, oh man, I don't want that for that person, and I'm like, what is that?
Right.
They're born like if you are believer of the Creator. I ain't talking about religion, because I don't rock with religion. The infinite Creator, universal, that is, then you are who you're supposed to be.
I won't even have a conversation with somebody about, gays or whatever,
Yeah.
if you don't believe they were born that way. And then I can talk to you about.
Yeah.
And I asked them, have you talked to a gay person and asked how, man, he was touched one time, he turned gay. No, bro, no. Or I knew in high school he dated girls. He was masking it until he got a chance to do what he wanted. Who would want to be gay, especially with the way people treat gays?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I say this, and we get off the subject, because I say even with black folk, I say, the shit we've been through and pushed through and all that kind of stuff. Why would you want that on someone else? Why would you want to treat someone the way you don't like the way you was treated?
And
so
then,
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on now.
And then they walk around and mask and hide and can't be. I watch my brother just try to hide and be different and this and that. And it's like, why? Do we have to even put on that facade? Because all of us, have, like you said, us as black people, like we have our cross to bear. And I just look at it now, just looking at life. I've got 54 years of life,
Nice.
and I've got to see just so much more and understand so much more. But I miss him, and one thing, he got clean before he died. So
he did die.
Yes, he passed away in '97.
Oh,
and but he was clean. He kicked the habit.
Good.
And I was just happy for that.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So from not there, but you started. To get into this business, you came in as a dancer.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I'm gonna tell you, well, you wouldn't started going to clubs, dancing, and I heard that, you even was Spinderella, they said, helped you out.
That story came, what happened was I was already an established dancer. I was in a crew called Mop Top.
Okay.
We called Motivated on Precision Towards Outstanding Performance.
Whoa. Okay. All right, that's what it is.
We were all brothers with dreads, and they went on to choreograph some of the biggest things, like Remember the Time, my brother Stretch with Fatima.
I remember Fatima.
Mariah Carey, like that Dream Lover, that era, that was them. So I came from a super dope crew. So I was already established. Spinderella just reached out to me because they were looking for another dancer to kind of match Pepper's height.
Okay.
And she called me and was like, "Hey man, we're going on a tour. We check your schedule."
Right, sure.
I was like, "Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I'm free.
Right.
I'm free." I'm like, what?
I got 31 days left in May. And shit,
I'm like, I am free.
Right.
And I was at my grandmother's house, and
Right.
she called me, and went on to dance with them for years and tour, and it was probably one of the best experiences in my life.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
Those are my
beautiful.
sisters.
Beautiful. It's funny. The first time I ever seen you was on the Apollo, Showtime Apollo.
Oh yeah, man.
And I was like, I think in your stand-up comedy, do you think you danced or something? I
did some moves.
Right. I was like, easy, nigga.
Yeah.
Calm down. Who is this clown here? I think you had dreads at the time.
I had dreads.
Come on, man.
I started that look with the dreads up, pointing. Nobody was doing that with the fade on the side and the dreads up.
I was like, who is this dude doing comedy and really good dance though? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could dance. I'm like, come on, man. You was Afion before Afion.
No, and let me tell you something. I just did a show with Afion in San Diego. Afion gave me so much love, and I met Afion when I was dancing for Keith Sweat in Fayetteville.
Okay. Yep. He's from Fayetteville.
He came up to me and was like, because his dance name was Flex, and then he wanted to battle or something like that. And I don't remember saying this, but at that age I was cocky, so I probably did. He said, "Man, you told me, I wanted to battle. You told me, wait till you get on, then we could battle."
Oh wow!
You know what I mean? I don't remember saying it, but that's what he said. But he gave me so much love, so I appreciated that. But that came from, my ex-manager. You remember the Brown brothers?
Yeah.
So Kevin Brown, Kevin and Andre.
Uptown. Yeah.
So Kev was the one that was like, Flex, you gotta incorporate the dancing in your act.
Yeah.
And because I never thought about it until then. And
Right.
I'll give him, credit for that. That's why I started doing that, because nobody was doing that.
Right. It wasn't.
Yeah.
The look you had though was also. I mean, you say you didn't have look. No, because it was down. With Dougie Doug, I think I remember saying.
His hair was down.
Yeah, he came down. Right. Yours was up.
I had mine up, and that's just how I came from the clubs. And,
Right.
And it started as a dare. My boy Khalif, who was part of the Mop Top, I could always meet somebody, impersonate them, just be funny. And he was like, "Yo, son, you mad funny. You got to get on stage and do that, man."
Right.
And I forget what the dare was, but I was like, "Oh, you gonna dare me?" So I found out about Uptown Comedy Club, and I kept going up each week to try to get up, and I couldn't. And each week something happened. They had a flood one week, and the other week they had no time left. So they had a New Jack segment where you get 2 to 3 minutes. And I went up, and I had some comedy because my cousin, Grapevine, we used to literally be in the house when we were younger talking about our aunts and uncles, and I literally went and did about 2 minutes, and I did my impressions of Edith Bunker, Archie Bunker, Bullwinkle, because that's how it started. I was doing impressions, and then I ended up doing a show when I got into the Uptown Comedy Club, and they took me on. I remember doing a show with Cool Bubba Ice.
Wow! Shout out to Cool Bubba Ice.
My brother Cool Bubba Ice, and he had pretty much had a lot of the same impersonations I had, and he had gone on before me. And I was stuck, like,
come on, yeah.
And it made me say, you know what? I'm never going to get caught out there like that again. I got to really create some material, and that's where that came from. And even trying to get on Showtime with the Apollo, I auditioned for them several times, and they kept saying no.
Even with the backing with the Brown Brothers, huh?
They kept saying no. I auditioned for what was her name? Don Weiner and Sarah something. I forget her name. It was a sister.
Okay.
And I kept auditioning. They said no. So cut to, I would go to Showtime at the Apollo. Me and my brother, we started the booing, going like that.
Really?
Yes, we started that.
All right, here first.
Yeah, well, we started that. Nobody was doing that. We started getting up doing that, and then obviously once I, got put on, Kevin was like, "You can't do that, man. You can't." But anyway. I'm sitting there, and mind you, I had audition. I'm sitting there, we watching the show. Sinbad is up there, and the dude comes to talk to him, and he said something to him. He said, Flex, where you at, man? Flex, get on up here, man. Come here, man. Come on, sign these papers. And I'm like, what the heck? They literally, I guess a comic backed out. They saw me from the truck and saw me sitting in there. Don Weiner knew that I had been auditioning, pulled me up. I went in the back, signed my after paper, blah, 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 and went right out.
Wow.
And that's how it started at Showtime.
Yeah, I saw, because back then, that was before Def Jam and all that, being on Showtime, Black Artist, it was huge.
Especially as a guest comedian, you know what I mean?
Right, that'd been a competition.
Not the amateur joint, it was the guest comedian spot. That was a coveted spot.
Wow.
So that's how it started. That's how I got on there. And then I did it 3 times, and I did it, Sinbad introduced me once.
Steve Harvey?
Did Steve? I don't think, no, Steve didn't. It
Rick
was
Aviles?
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Malcolm Jamal Warner?
And Eartha Kitt were the people who introduced me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rick Aviles I knew because he was in the recovery rooms in N.A. with my brothers.
Wow.
Crack.
Shout out, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Rick Aviles.
Yeah, Rick Aviles.
Yes.
Wow. That's okay. So from there, but then I heard, like I said, did you choreograph some stuff for people?
I choreographed. I became a choreographer, and I worked with. We did.
Queen Latifah,
Crystal Waters, Queen Latifah, the video. I didn't do her stage.
No, right.
But
Crystal Waters, what song did you do?
That was that video. Yeah.
Oh, check that out. Go Google that now, then.
Yes, me, my boy Peter Paul, and Khalif. We were in that video.
When I toured on Budweiser Superfest with Drew Hill, Leo,
I remember Superfest.
Remember?
Yeah.
And is a guy named Dave Mays or Dave something? He was a choreographer.
Dave Mays is the guy who ended up linking up with Benzino.
For Source. No,
yeah.
There's a Dave something. He also did like what was one of the movies where you like, you know what?
Dance movies.
Yeah, dance movies and stuff. He was in there.
This
tall, dark-skinned dude. He was kind of starting like he was doing Drew Hill and all them choreographing.
Okay.
Then I started after the tour. He started. It's 97.
Oh, okay.
I started seeing him all over doing. He became one of the big ones. Like Fatima's big.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really dope.
I was done by then. Like I stopped. Because I did my first TV show, which was Dougie Doug's show, Where I Live, in 1993.
Oh wow, okay,
and it was after, and I had done Juice first.
So what brought you out to LA?
Was Dougie Doug's show, Where I Live.
So you came to do that show?
I came. I had auditioned. We did the Brown Brothers put on a showcase. Doug had a deal, and they put on a showcase at City College, and they put their whole roster on. And so they had people from Disney here, ABC, another producer, Eric Van Loo, shout out to Eric Van Loo, and put the whole roster on. And I just went on, and then they asked about me. and there was a role of his best friend, and actually at the time, Doug and I, we were really, really close.
Oh, cool.
So they got the material for me, and I didn't have no acting lessons. I just rehearsed. I read for it in New York. It's like, all right, didn't hear nothing. Then I turned around, boom, hey, they want to fly you to LA, for about 4 or 5 days. Came out, I ended up staying 2 weeks because I kept getting further and further and further. And I mean, I'm seeing everybody. I'm seeing people that were on like the Cosby
right,
Show.
Sure.
And I'm sitting there. It's like, but I just still had this edge with me. Like, man, I don't care. Like, I'm like, whatever.
Right.
So I was just in there going, and then I did the screen test, and it was an actor, a brother named Mushan. I forget his last name. Okay. If you saw his face, you'll know him. He was in the Cosby Show. He was in Lean on Me. He played the guy who got the girl pregnant and left her alone to live.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, but it was down. He and I, we screen tested. So I leave. A couple of days later, I have a general meeting at CBS. I go. I'm sitting in the waiting area, and the assistant's like, "Hey, there's a phone call for you." I'm like, "Boom!" This is my agent at the time, Bill Gross. Get on the phone. He's like, "Hey, man, how's the meeting going?" I said, "Well, I'm not in it yet. I'm just waiting." He said, "Well, you got to leave." I'm like, "Why?" He said, "Because you got the show on ABC."
Wow.
And I never forget, Pierre, that feeling.
Come on now.
I was like, yo, I'm going to be on TV.
Yeah.
ABC, that's a network that I grew up watching.
Right.
Fantasy Island, like all those shows. I was like, yo. And I remember back then, there was a company called Valley Cab. They called me a cab.
Valley Cab, wow.
And I took the cab all the way from CBS, what is it? They call it TV City, or right on, right there off.
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Television City.
Right.
So I took that all the way back to the Valley, and I couldn't believe it.
I get that feeling, man. But it's funny you say that. I remember one time I came to LA, and they were looking for a person. Mm-hmm. Light skinned, brown skin, curly hair, tall, comedic, funny. I said, they want me. I walked in, I saw 8 other niggas look like me. I said, what the fuck? I thought y'all wanted me. I didn't want y'all. Y'all want them.
Yeah.
Man, that was one of the wake up calls. Like,
yeah.
You gotta get in line, play that. The breakdown was me.
Yeah.
And I wound up saying that. But you have that. I'm gonna use a big word. I'm gonna fuck it up. Is it such an inconsequential? The black man's look. You got that look that Hollywood likes. Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, all that Martin Lawrence, that face. Yeah. So I can see you moving fast in this business. I'm not gonna say you're overly handsome, but you're a handsome young man. You get what people want. America, you look like that perfect look. You know what I'm saying?
But the flip side is hard.
But and why would you say it was hard?
It's hard because when you come up against, if it's a show that's not yours, then you go against people's insecurities. If you're taller than the star, if you look better,
right. I can hear that.
There's real insecurities, and I face that. I face that, on a big show.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I can see that, brother.
Yeah.
People don't realize how fragile some of these people are.
And I'm like, I'm playing second fiddle to you. Like, I'm not a threat.
You don't think that. You don't think that. You know what I'm saying? People in their ears and stuff. I've heard people too, like, even in comedy situations, he too funny. You're not about to outstar me. Man.
Oh, listen. When I was getting back on stage, like it's been, but I got to shout out to my brother Chris Spencer, because that dude pushed me to get back on stage.
Good.
Because I had taken a break, like a 9-year break. Because when I was doing TV, I was like, I don't need to go out there, and because I tried it, and we had our daughter. I was like, it's a lot. I was like, I'm not trying to be gone. I come back, and she's 17, and I don't know her.
Right, that's true.
And then my son, and DL was like, fuck them kids. You can apologize later. I love DL. But I didn't want to be gone like that.
Right.
So I chose not to do it. Mm-hmm. So of course you miss a gap of time.
Right.
You miss a connection with a generation.
Sure.
So coming back was a lot for me, and I was scared. And then Chris was like, man, just get on stage, And he just started taking me with him. I started getting on stage. So I was saying Afion.
Right, Afion. I was saying Afion.
We had a conversation, and he was like, big bro, man. He said, I have my assistant email you. look at the dates, whatever dates you want to get on, let me know.
Yeah.
And then the first one was in San Diego.
Good. Afion's a good guy. I put him in his first movie.
Wow.
My movie, For the Love of Money.
Yeah.
He killed it. Yeah, he was funny. He was funny in it too,
Yeah.
man. That's one thing about this business. I feel like it doesn't have to be this tough. Because I'm like this. I'm not expecting you to do this, but if I help you out as a human being, when you get on, you be like, he helped me out. I got you. Instead of holding you back for something I might not even get. Now, you have a certain feeling about me. I ain't even get the role or the situation. Now, two people shit out of luck, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. So I've never been that way. And it bothers me when people don't, I'm like, well, really? Why do you act like that?
I don't understand. Like, I know, when I had my show, when I had one-on-one, or any show I was in, I always looked out. When I had one-on-one, I had people coming, they needed this many words to get their card. Right. They needed this insurance. Right. And I was always making sure. I had writers from the show who went on to become.
But hold on, I definitely want to talk about one in a bigger way. Yeah. But what I've been dying to get you on, you did all these great accolades, and I love it, love it. But I just need to know, Michael Jackson, man. What happened?
Listen.
What happened? Rent was due, nigga?
Let me tell you.
Rent was due.
I was doing well at the time. So, I mean, I was still doing well. But looking at that check, I was like, I could even do better.
I ain't mad at you. Shit.
But at the time, though, the thought wasn't even, there was nothing that they could show me that I saw that, okay, this is going to be terrible.
Right.
I just met with the producers. My agent called me, yeah, it's Michael Jackson movie. They want to. I was like, they know I'm 6'4", right?
Right.
No, I'm dark.
Dark skin too, right?
There was a way, just take a meeting. I go over to the Viacom MTV buildings out in Santa Monica. I go meet with the director, producer. We're talking, and he's asking me, how I feel about Mike. Oh, I love Mike. I met him, But my wife knew him coming up, and I'm like, yeah, I love him. That was it.
Right.
I leave. They call back. Oh, they want to offer you. I'm like, are you serious?
Right.
So in my mind, I'm like, okay. And then when I get on the phone with them, after the offer, we go back and forth. Great pay, and they say, hey, we got the music, the rights to the music.
Oh, wow, nice.
We're gonna have these great performers. I'm like, oh, okay, bet. And we go up to Canada to shoot it, and then I step in the trailer, and I'm like, uh-oh. I see the prosthetic nose they wanted to put on me at first. I was like, I'm not wearing that.
Oh. And
the makeup, they put the airbrush, and they would airbrush me.
Sure.
I was like, I look ashy, right?
Right. Yeah.
But at the time, even still, I'm not thinking that because I'm like, down the line, social media is gonna come.
Right.
There was no social media.
Sure, no, I get it.
It was just I honestly, Pierre, took it blindly because I didn't know what to expect. Right. I'm putting the trust in the hands of these producers. Then we get to like almost the fourth quarter of the movie finishing. They come to my trailer. Yeah, so about the music. The lawyers got pushed back. We're not gonna be able to get the music.
Wow.
So now you got these performances with these little beats.
Right.
These producers in Canada like.
They kind of sound like that attitude.
So I was like,
hell no.
Yes. And even when we did the premiere, and VH1 premiered it. Nobody said nothing.
Okay, we're in Hollywood. That's why.
Social media.
Right, it was in Hollywood.
You're
marvelous. You're fat. I can see it. I can see it in you.
But I got to talk to LaToya, Jackie. Like, they appreciated. They were like, yeah, the production terrible, but they was like, we saw your effort,
right,
in trying to really capture our brother, and when we did it at the time, Michael was still alive.
Right, but it was also about to go through that trial situation.
Yeah, so
it was heavy around
all
that time
they did was use excerpts from, trial stuff.
Right.
That's all it was. So they didn't make up anything or try to, because the director was pro Michael. He was like, I'm not here to do no salacious, gossipy, none. So it was. So now it's the bane of my existence. And now I just laugh. At first, initially, I was hurt on social media. People would be like, I'm not trying to feed my kids. But now I just laugh. And I'll be like, yeah, man.
Feed my kids. I ain't mad at you then.
I'm like, hey,
screw y'all.
And I would tell people, I get on live sometime and TikTok, and people asking, like, why? I'm like, listen, you probably got a job you hate.
Come on now, yeah.
You probably got a job.
I'd have done it. Look how I look. Okay, I'd have played Michael Jackson.
But you know who else they were thinking about?
Who?
What's his name? Hill Harper.
Okay, yeah,
They told me.
Yeah,
They said, I was like, oh my God. I was like, if Hill would have done that.
Oh man,
And now he's running for Senate.
They brought that up. They brought that up. Wow.
Senator Harper.
Well, you know, your career is so long. You have so many things, and you know, in a career that long, you're gonna have some ups and downs. It is what it is. I get so tired of people thinking you gotta hit home runs all the time. The thing that I remember the most, though, because I'm a comic, I was around that time, whatever. You know, we'll do one more, and then we'll move on. Homeboys from Outer Space.
Oh, listen, man.
Come on, bro. The commercial was like, what in the hell?
Listen.
I might have been hating at the time because I wasn't in it.
That one right there, that was Eric Van Lowe, who I shouted out earlier. See, because I done Where I Live, you know, so you understand, back then, I had two, my first deal with Disney, they gave me a holding deal. I had like a $700,000 holding deal.
They call,
back then,
come on now.
Cats wasn't getting those. I got one. You know, did Where I Live. Then they gave me a holding deal, and it didn't happen. Nothing happened at the time, and then they came with. They sent me a bunch of scripts actually, and I read. And they said we really like this one, and I read it. It was actually funny. I'm a Trekkie, so we had the original Scotty that was going to be in the show, James Doohan. So I'm like, yo, man, you know, for me, it's right up my alley. So, and one thing I did say, I said to the producer, I said, man, but Homeboys, I said that.
The name.
Ain't nobody said that since '85. He said, that's all right, it'll be cool. I was like, all right, whatever. So, shot the pilot with Mel, what is Mel's last name? How am I forgetting his last name?
Jackson?
Mel Jackson.
Yeah, Mel Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah.
He shot the pilot. He was out here from Chicago. I was picking him up. You know, he had no car. Was taking him get a haircut, get shown around because my brother Sean Baker did that for me when I was doing Where I Live. I didn't have a car. He was coming from LA. Shout out to Sean Baker. He would come from LA, pick me up in the Valley. So I'm paying it forward. So we do the pilot, and then they turn around and say we're gonna pick it up. I'm like, all right, cool. Then I get a call for a number. I'm like, who's it? Yo, Flex. I'm like, yo, what's up, man? Yo, it's Darryl Bell. I'm like, what's up, D Bell? What's going on, man? Hey, man, we're gonna do this thing. What are you talking? They replaced Mel.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, oh, Hollywood is real. Like, this is different. They will
scrap a whole project, the whole pilot.
Scrap a pilot, scrap an actor, and you know we ended up shooting it. But at that time, when I was 26, you know, I'm making $35,000 a week.
Come on now, come on.
What?
I'm just teasing. You know, I would do the same shit.
No.
Let's be real.
I'm just saying that my thought was that. My thought was, yo, I can take care of my grandmother. I can take care of my mother. I'm like, yo, of course I was spending it like it was, you know, 100,000 a week.
But today, okay, but see, today you're different. Well, no, I don't know if you're different. But today, like you said, you did stuff to take care of your family.
Yeah.
Would you now say no to a project if you didn't feel like, but it's good money though, take care of my family?
If something didn't feel just right with me, you know, if it's kind of campy or whatever, I don't trip about that. It's got to just feel right with my spirit. Am I making myself look crazy? Am I doing something that you know, for the culture? And the one thing that, you know, I say to people sometime online, I was like, I said we can have fun with the Michael Jackson stuff. I get that, but can you give me, you know, my props and say how I represented the culture?
Okay.
How for years, you know what I mean? Never had
in a good way, right? In a good way.
You know, I always represented the culture. I represented us well. You know,
I would definitely say that.
And that's one of the things I'm like, give me that.
And it's funny you say that. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to the girl. The girl that played that little voice thing, what, Ray Bennett? Rona Bennett.
She
want to be in Vogue, man.
We used to,
shout out to her.
We used to have parties, like they would, back when we were doing that, it was a company called Chris Craft that owned UPN. They were like a boating yacht kind of company. Young dudes, just had money. And they would give these parties in Hancock Park for UPN. That was back with, you know, Malcolm and Eddie and you know, Moesha, when they had the back-to-back Mondays and all that. And she would get up and sing, and man, I was like, yo, Rona, I was like, yo, she reminded me so much of Whitney. Rona was amazing, and then I saw her being able to be on Jamie Foxx, and then now in Vogue. I'm so happy for her. Rona's always been sweet.
Nice. No, that's a good look. Nah, but that's what I was going to ask you, because with you, to me, you've always come off as a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Always a nice, pleasant individual. Do you think in Hollywood that hurt you a little bit for people not thinking you could play, even a meaner guy or abuser or just, something like that? Man, play good people, man.
Yeah, I really don't know. I never try to, box myself in. I really don't know. I saw an interview recently with Alfonso Ribeiro, and he was saying how, man, I did my role so good as an actor that it kept me from getting other roles.
Right.
And I don't think, my character on 101 was as iconic as a Carlton. But, I do fight against I can do more than comedy.
Right, right.
I have done it. I've been on Grey's Anatomy,
right,
Station 19, CSI Miami. Like, I've done straight dramatic roles. But, and I remember there was a show called Blue Bloods that I had to fight to get. And I kept going and going, and I remember they kept making me audition because Les Moonves only saw me as a comedian, and I kept going, but I was beating everybody out.
Right.
And ended up doing the pilot, ended up recasting, which mentally messed me up because I had never shot a pilot, and I wasn't in the series. And being replaced, and they brought a female in.
Right.
They just brought another brother, and I'd have really been messed up.
Right.
But as they was trying to go a different way, but there was there was some stuff there too. I'll just say that on the helping and me being, the role being changed.
Okay, so every well, no, not every, but a lot of careers we have a defining moment, a defining situation. For me, even if you don't want it to be, Baps is going to be for me unless I do something different, okay?
Yeah.
Even how to be able to play, whatever. And then I did another, Baps, like I've been in a whole bunch of things, but it's just them. And it's okay. And I embrace it now. At first I was like, I knew more than that.
Yeah.
Would you say 101 is your thing? The thing that they would say?
Oh, I'd say yeah. I'd say people, and especially when the lockdown was happening and Netflix put it on. They put it on like towards the end of 2020.
Okay.
And it literally just went off Netflix.
A whole different audience get to see it now.
I got 10-year-olds.
Right.
But it's crazy that it just had a whole nother life.
Right.
Now it's on this new cable network, Dabble or something like that. It's a new network.
Right.
Now it's on there. And it just keeps living, and it is that thing that people like, Mr. Washington. I check in hotels. Oh, nice to meet you, Mr. Washington. I'm like, that's my character.
Right. But what's cool about that I like is like you put a positive.
Yeah.
Person, I mean, to be big from a positive situation. I mean, role.
Yeah.
A father to take care of his daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't see that often, especially a single father and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you should definitely be proud of that. Even that, no matter what else you play. You know what I'm saying? For the culture, for the culture, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
I'm super proud of that.
How did it become? How did it become out?
I created the show, which a lot of people don't know. I pitched it. I had a holding deal at Disney. I had a script deal. Hired a writer. And wrote the script. He didn't listen to everything that I wanted, but he added his flavor, whatever. Anyway, they passed on that script. So then I'm like, man. So I wait about another year. And I tell my agent, you know what? I want to go back out and pitch it, but I want to pitch it the way I envisioned it. And that's what I did. Pitched it. Then I had to meet with a bunch of writers. I met with about 4 or 5 writers.
Right.
And hired Sister Unetta Boone from Maryland, and God rest her soul.
She just passed away a couple years ago. Yeah.
And went ahead to go over and give the story, the backstory, all that. She's writing it. So anyway, cut to.
But hold on, before you get there,
yes.
What made you come up with that idea, though?
Oh, my bad.
Idea.
The idea came from I had a friend of mine from Harlem who was a teenage father. And we used to watch. He was a young father. He was like 18 when he had his kid. And we was like, oh man, you can't do nothing. You can't, go out, no girls. Blah, blah. So that always just stuck in my head. And then I saw an LL Cool J commercial. He had a Coca-Cola commercial where he was on the stoop doing his daughter's hair, and the ponytails ended up crooked. And I said, that's a show.
Wow.
Then I saw a Nike commercial with the Little Rascal music playing, and Kyla Pratt was on the commercial. She was, all sweet, like, oh, you're Lisa Leslie. And she would go, oh, you want my autograph? No, because you don't hustle, you don't play defense.
I remember that too.
Yeah, and it was a series of them. And I said, I want her to play my daughter. That's literally how it happened. This is before any, network or any producers. I just envisioned that and pitched it to Greenblatt John Lowry on a Tuesday. I think like on a Friday they called, and we had a deal. And then
nice.
Had to find a writer, obviously. Got Unetta, and then learning for myself what that means as a writer, as a showrunner, as a creator, and getting your credit. I didn't know then what I know now.
Right, sure.
I didn't register my idea,
wow.
which I didn't know.
Wow.
I was 26
right, sure,
when I came up with the idea. I didn't know.
Right.
And it's the guild recognizes who pins it.
Right, sure.
And that was the thing that I did myself in that sense. But it was tough to kind of go through knowing that and going to
right.
work. But at the end of the day, I just said, you know what? I got a choice. I could either not work,
right,
or 200 people don't work, or I can just go to work.
But one thing about it, it was such a positive role.
Yeah.
Was it easy when people start reading that we want this? It was like, we don't know. It ain't, because we haven't really seen that before on TV.
Well, UPN, we shot the pilot, and what's her name was in the pilot? Rosalind Sanchez. Do you remember Rush Hour 2? Yeah. She played my landlord.
Okay.
And then it was kind of like love interest.
Mm-hmm.
And after the table read, they fired her.
God damn.
And I was like, yo, what is going on? Y'all just told her that y'all was calling her with a call time. Like, and
Hollywood.
Yeah, that right there blew me. I was like, wow.
Right, yeah.
So we shot the pilot over at CBS Radford. We shot the pilot and aired, tested it, everything, and it didn't get picked up. They didn't pick it up.
What?
And now this is the time I just got married. My wife and I in the car. I got the call, and we pull over. We both cry.
Right.
I'm like, what am I doing? And then we put on Mary, Mary. I just can't give up now. We sit there, we crying. We're like, it's gonna be okay.
Right.
So cut to a year later, our year anniversary. We're coming back from Santa Barbara. Get a call from a manager. Hey, Flex. Yeah. So, you still interested in doing your show? I'm like, yeah. They're like, yeah, because Paramount wants to do it. I'm like, what?
Wow.
It never happened before. Where they passed on the show and they pick it up a year later. Head of UPN at the time, Dean Valentine, who used to be at Disney.
Okay.
He came to me personally and said, I apologize. We should have picked it up from the get-go.
Wow.
And told me, you don't have to worry about it. You're good. And you know what they picked up instead of us? The Something Files of Desmond Pfeiffer. Remember that with Shy McBride, where he was Lincoln's slave?
Wow, I think I do remember that. Yeah,
that's what they picked up.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Kyla Pratt. We just did a movie together called Not Another Church Movie.
Oh,
check it out.
I
liked her. Yeah,
Kyla,
she was cool.
Man, she was
cool.
So
So when you're doing the show, I just you got to be getting a lot of black love, just a lot of, everywhere you're going and stuff. People appreciating that, because we hadn't really seen that. Came at a time when we really wasn't. There's a lot of hip hop movies that wasn't really positive. Whatever it was, it was, or shit like that I was in, How to Be a Player and all that crazy, But that's what it is. That's what it is.
We do.
But the fact, but to do something like that, I can see even to this day, people must thank you for that, man.
I get people coming up to me, grown women, well, obviously younger, but saying, in their 30s or whatever, man, thank you. Like, my father raised me, and we watched your show. That was our time together. Or I get a father coming to me say, man, you helped me with such and such. Like, the love from one-on-one, man, has been It's so great.
That's good.
So great.
That's good.
Especially traveling the country. Like,
right. Sure.
It's so great.
You'd be surprised how much. I mean, who you touched. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even some of the stuff I do, they pick out little things. I'm like, y'all like that? Man, that was my favorite. I watch it all
Especially
the time.
when you get out of LA.
That's what I'm saying. Well, my man's gonna travel, right?
Yeah,
right,
when
exactly.
you get out
I'm
of
like,
LA,
wow.
you really see
Right.
you have people who really
Right.
appreciate what you do.
Right, right.
Like we were getting ready to do Baps. I was getting ready to play your role.
Really?
We was getting ready to do Baps with Jacarius, and
Oh yeah, the play,
yeah,
right,
but it
right,
ended
right.
up not happening. But
Right.
yeah.
Well, you know, I initially was going to do. We rehearsed it.
Oh, that first, yes,
and then
and then it shut down
for the pandemic.
Right.
And then unfortunately, Natalie passed away.
Yeah.
And then AJ passed away.
Yeah.
And, I'm still here.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So yeah. And speaking of Jacarius, he does plays. I saw you in the New Jack City. You
Yeah.
You did a good ass
Yeah.
job,
Thank
brother.
you, man.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
dead ass, but I wasn't sure. I was like, what's gonna happen to this thing here? You almost stole it from me, brother. I'm being honest. I was like, thanks. Come on, man.
I tried to bring something different.
Yeah.
I tapped into
You played the Pookie role, the Chris Rock role. Yeah, the Chris Rock role.
Listen, shout out to Chris Rock. Like,
Right.
he is always gonna be iconic for
Right,
doing
sure,
that.
sure,
And,
yeah.
and I had reservations about doing it at first because I'm like, yo, Chris Rock. Like, I was like, man, let me do one of the other roles, like the cop or something.
Right.
I want them to see my other side. And I called Chris Spencer. I said, yo, Chris, man, they want me to do that New Jack City. They want me to do Pookie, man. But I want to do. He said, Negro,
Right.
be Pookie.
Right, that sounds, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, you killed
And
it.
I just tried to bring something different, more than just jokes.
Right.
Tapped into seeing my brothers
Right.
go through the meetings,
Right.
my mom, all of that. I used all
No,
of that.
man, people, I was surprised.
Yeah, a lot of people were surprised.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I went to see it, it was in Dallas. I think it was in Dallas. I went to see it. I was like, damn. I'm like, all right, I gotta get this brother on my podcast.
Yeah. Yes,
He talk about some other stuff now. No,
Yeah.
you killed it, man. So shout out to
Thank
that,
you,
man.
man. Thank you.
Like I said, it always seems rosy for you, from all the things you've done, boopity boopity boop. And I think we had a phone call one day, a conversation
Yeah.
that really opened my eyes. And like I said, I've been a supporter, even from the distance. But I said, you know what? I need to call him sometime and say what's up to the brother. Because sometimes we need to, I'll call. Some people want to just be like, so what's up? No, I just want to see how you doing. Oh, all right. I said, I'll holler at you later.
Yeah.
Like, damn, if it ain't gonna work, you don't want to holler at me?
Right,
Nope.
right.
I mean, I'm trying to look out for you just because I know how it is. I know this business, okay? You can fake it all you want to some of these people out there. I know how these hard times.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't realize, every time you do a project, when it's over, you got fired. You got to find another job.
Yeah.
Most people couldn't take that. That's why people work in the post office for 40 years or the government.
Yeah.
They're like, I ain't leaving now. I don't care how they acting this sucker. I'm staying. It's security.
Yeah.
We got to go up and down each time.
Up and down.
And, then we were talking about the situation where I'll tell you about a time when, I'm who I am, famous or whatever, and my money was low. I didn't realize how low it was. And I had to get on a mega bus one time, to travel up to New York, whatever. I didn't want to pay them tolls or whatever. And I think it was New York and some other place I went to, North Carolina, something I did. And I remember I went that sucker with a baseball hat on, some shade, a mask on it. And look, but as I was trying to get on the bus, the bus driver was like, oh snap, we got Pierre on here.
Yeah.
Really, brother? You see all this mask I just did up there?
Yeah.
So lucky people didn't know who I was. I went in the back. I put my headphones on. I was in the corner.
Yeah.
I'm on the bus. I'm thinking, man, not as much as how far I've fallen, but like what I'm willing to do to stay in this business was more my thing.
Yeah.
So I went there, and I remember going to the bank, and I had one time this is another time I had a $500 check for something.
Yeah.
And I gave him, or 500 cash. I remember, I gave it to a lady, and she gave me my deposit slip, and it said $239. So I was like, bitch, I just gave you $500. Why you give me $239?
Yeah.
And she said, you overdrawn. I was like, I thought I had a couple thousand.
That overdraft, boy.
Because you can write a check, and you forget it's going to come a little later.
Forget. And then people don't, listen, we give you a check, put it right in the bank.
Man, right, exactly.
Don't be putting it in a week later.
That's right. That's real. So I remember thinking, I said, oh my God, I got $230, and I was like, I got bills coming, and I don't have I ain't a significant other. It's on me. So I was like, I had an apartment, lights, gas, cable, cell phone. I was like, oh my God. So then I got on the phone and we just started calling people. And I think I had like a check for like 1,000 show I had to do. I wasn't turning down nothing but I wouldn't turn my collar down. I like Count Dracula. Everywhere I went. But I went and did it, and what I was impressed by, and I really appreciate, I want to say about myself, is like, I got that grind on.
Yeah.
I said, I'm gonna do it. I'll be cities, y'all might remember me, if you remember me at some of these cities, I was in the hole in the wall spot.
Yeah.
What the hell you doing here? and get this money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this. I don't give a damn.
Exactly.
I just showed for the 12 people in this bar. I didn't give a damn. I had to get this money, and I built my money up again, and it hasn't been down since then.
Yeah.
Knock on whatever I need to knock on.
Right.
But you would tell me by the time you went, what do you say? You went masked up to somewhere?
We went to file bankruptcy.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was like, we put the damn. I felt like putting on the what was that? What was the movie? Dead President's
Dead President. That's funny.
To go in there and hide. But I remember that going in there. And,
Yeah.
People. The one black person in there, like you sitting, because everybody sits in there. That's the thing about it. It's so humiliating. They do it on purpose. Like, you sure you want to file bankruptcy? All right, come on in. And you sit, everybody's in there because they got to go up, and then they sit up there, you put your hand up, and they call your name, and blah, 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 and then it's dismissed. But I'm sitting there, man. And
you and white people sitting together?
Yeah. And the one black person in there, all I see is this. Look down, I'm like this. Oh my God. He's like, Flex, what's up? I'm like, oh my God, what you doing here? I said, same thing you doing here. Trying to get rid of this debt. That was it. And for me, I take it easier than my wife. My wife is way more private. And just
Right,
more,
sure.
And I immediately threw it on stage, threw it in my comedy.
Man. Yeah,
immediately,
man.
when they took our house, I immediately,
Right.
we were doing a loan modification, and Chase was playing games, which we found out later.
Right,
and,
sure.
And I remember the sheriff was there, and there were people who bought the spot. It was there, and my wife asking the sheriff, can I use your cell phone? And I'm looking at her like,
wow.
I said, who you gonna call? She said, I'm gonna call our business manager. I was like, why? I said,
Right. Look where we at, right.
So I find those moments, man, but we took that. The kids were younger, and we said, hey guys, we're moving to a place with a pool. We're gonna stay in a hotel, and we're gonna have fun, and they got free food, and they were like, yay! So that innocence, man, was everything at that time, because they didn't know.
Right.
And we told them later.
How did? I'm just real question. How do you feel? Do you feel like a failure when that was happening?
Initially,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, initially, as a man, you like, is that because of what society says, or is it because you just feel like you failed your family? But thankfully, I have a strong wife and a supportive wife who. Just like, I don't look at you that way. Stuff happens.
Right,
it's just like, okay, how do we not repeat it?
Right.
Because we weren't doing nothing crazy. We wasn't balling. I had bought all this property in Vegas, and it crashed.
Right.
2008?
Yeah, I bought a house.
I mean, and I had a 12-unit building, apartments, 5 single-family homes. I'm thinking the right things.
Right, sure.
Smart things.
Right.
And for that income, I could pass that down, but I should have just bowed out. I tried to hold on, so I'm dipping into savings, trying to keep it, pay all of the mortgages, and it just, whew.
And I like what you just said too, and I thought about this about bankruptcy. People just take that word and like, you failure, you not knew your money right. But sometimes you invest in good stuff that just happens not to work out, and it's like, brother, I was trying to make this money right. It wasn't like I was being frivolous with my money. I was really doing something. But the outside looking in, Flex is bankrupt. Oh, damn, probably balling too much, doing too much, and she's like, no, I was trying to do the right thing, and stuff happened.
Yeah.
But see, when stuff happens to them, it's okay.
Yeah.
When it happened to you, you done fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You a Hollywood dude. And one thing I don't like is how people think that Hollywood people got everybody rich.
No.
Everybody balling. Yeah, exactly. I've talked to a lot of my friends who are, famous and well. And a lot of us is going through it. No different than regular friends I have who are going through it. You know what I'm saying? So don't think because we're in Hollywood, you people out there sometimes just pick the big time celebrities. Eddie Murphy doing well. Everybody ain't Eddie Murphy.
Everybody ain't in that 1%.
Exactly.
And that's why we did the show.
Have grace and mercy on people.
That's why we did the show we did for Oprah Winfrey Network. We did the Flex and Shanice show.
Right.
Because we wanted to tell our story. We didn't want
there you go. I was smart.
Vlogs and this. We said, let's tell our story.
That was smart.
And also inspire people. This one couple. Let me tell you. I got to tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
Reached out to my wife online, and she said, I just want to tell you thank you. My husband and I want to thank you guys for doing the show you did, showing the real side of Hollywood and just regular people. She said, my husband and I, they went through bad financially. They were planning a dual suicide.
Wow.
They were going to have their kids go with her mother, and the night before, they watched our show.
That's amazing.
That was powerful. So if it wasn't for just them, yeah, I'm glad we told our story.
And I was okay. And again, in fact, and really, shout out to you, man. Y'all have come up, full circle and better situation y'all are. One thing I can respect about you too, is you maintain, bro.
Oh, got to maintain.
I've seen people come in and you're like, what? Next time you see them, like, what the hell? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have no empathy for celebrities who don't maintain when you got the money.
Yeah.
You got somebody can cook for you,
Yeah.
the gym and trainer.
Yeah.
You let yourself go.
Yeah, I don't have no chef, but I know how to cook. And I if it's a gym, I find a gym. If I'm on the road, I mean, we're doing New Jack City. I'm hotel, make sure we got a gym. I'm in that gym. Just
beautiful.
It's trying. Listen. There's meals I eat and enjoy. That,
Sure.
I don't eat clean all the time,
right.
but it's,
keep it balanced.
Moderation
right.
and stuff like that. Because as we get older, we gotta watch that stuff.
Come on, man.
We have to.
You just maybe you're blessed with the look, and you maintain it and you respect it. Your temple, your body's your temple. So a shout out to you for that. I like seeing actors who are still. Will Smith is in that zone. Jamie Foxx. Morris Chestnut. All of them. Yeah. A lot of them. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. And I've seen some other people like, what in the hell?
Yeah.
But again. But the fact that you do yours, man. What we got coming up? Anything coming up that we need to talk about real quick?
Myself, Buddy Lewis, Chris Spencer, we have a show that we wrote. Very excited about that.
As you well should be. Everybody, both funny writers.
Yes, very excited about that. I'm on Family Business, which I'm having a great time. Family Business has been. I didn't realize the following that it has. Like people everywhere I go, they're like, "Low Jack," and I'm like, I'm thinking they're gonna say one-on-one.
Right.
And they say Family Business. We're coming up on season 5 is gonna start airing soon, and then we start shooting season 6. I think in August.
Okay.
Be back on the road.
Okay.
We're doing a couple of limited engagement, New Jack City, again, and just continuing to write and just really get back on that stage and push this new TV show.
Good, man. No, I appreciate you coming. I do something on here. I don't know if you.
Hey, I want to tell you this though before you do that.
Okay.
That I really appreciate you reaching out to me. I appreciated that more than you know, and that's just some real shit.
Yeah, I meant that too, man. When I called you, man, I meant that, brother. Yeah. I got love for you. Even though we don't talk all the time, you've always been a good cat every time I've seen you. And when I've heard anything that wasn't positive or wrong, coming towards you, I felt for you, man. So I said, let me, some people I don't know. If I don't know you that well, I'm call you, but nigga, don't worry about me. I'm doing okay. I'm saying, and you hear stomach growling and water dripping. I'm all right. Don't worry about it. I'm all right, brother. I was just seeing, because I know it. But no, likewise, man. Because the energy you give out, I can feel that.
Yes,
all right, we do this thing called spin the wheel.
Oh, heck.
Yeah, brother. So if it land on anything, you got to participate.
Oh,
that's what. All right. So here's a couple of things we got.
Okay.
We got the biggest lie you ever told.
Okay.
Okay. You gotta get something off your chest. A secret that we ain't heard. We do a thing called a celebrity crush call. So what happens? You're an actor, perfect. So I want to see your macking game. If you're like I think on your phone.
I don't have no macking game.
Well, if you're an actor, I want to see your improv, man. You got 1 minute to see what you can talk about, man. But okay, we'll move. All right, if story like how you lost your virginity, falls on that. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Remember? Okay, so some of those are some of the same ones. So what you do is you spin it, and wherever, let me see. That's pretty much,
Okay.
Yeah, if it lands on something else, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
So hold on. So let me get together.
Will work good.
Yeah, it work good enough.
You don't have it rigged to stop it.
I know that's right. I do some stuff like that. My white side. So go and give it a nice Bronx spin. Where it falls. Would that fall on? What? Oh, okay. That's cool. This is a good one. You got a wife.
What's that one?
Describe a perfect romantic evening. Which so set it up. So.
A perfect romantic.
Yeah. What you say? You got a minute to tell me what it is.
Okay, a perfect romantic evening. Honestly, for us, some good food.
That you cook.
I either cook or we go out to our favorite place.
Okay.
Which is Mr. Chow's.
Okay. Ooh, ballers.
That's our.
I ain't never been to Chow's.
That's our favorite place.
Damn.
Or we cook.
Okay.
No kids at home.
All right.
I love to make her a nice bubble bath.
Oh, okay.
Throw on a good movie.
What's a good movie? Like a rom-com?
Well, yeah, rom-com or we watch Love Jones or something like that.
Gotta be black too, though.
Yeah,
black.
Love Jones. Well, I ain't gonna
Pretty
lie.
Woman and shit.
Pretty Woman was great.
Yeah, well, come on now.
Pretty
Come on,
Woman
with your wife,
had me.
man. Come on.
Pretty Woman was good. And I'll just say this, and we don't get to finish watching the movie.
Okay. That's something I want to know, because I've been married for 11 years, but I wasn't the best when I was married. Let's be real. But how do you keep that fire? All these years, man.
You have to. I mean, listen. It's in cycles.
Right.
It's not people are like, oh man, it looks so perfect. I'm like, no, it's not.
Right.
There's times where she get on my nerves. There's times where I get on her nerves.
Right.
But you just gotta. I think the if I could say one thing, is you just gotta want to do it.
There you go.
You gotta want to do it.
There you go.
And fire as fire is, sometimes fire roars higher, sometimes it's lower, but as long as it's still burning, you win the game.
Right. Well, I think you said the main thing, you gotta want to be in it.
You gotta want to be in it.
Because if you don't want to be in it no more, it's a wrap. I don't give what the other person does or not, it doesn't matter if you don't want to be in it.
Yeah.
The sad part about it is people who are in those situations sometimes, I'm gonna go up to about 70% of the time when they get out of that, they feel like stuff out here is the same thing I left at home. I had more time in this. I could have nurtured that a little bit better, but I thought outside the grass was gonna be greener on the other side. Only thing was different, we had a different fence around it that fooled you. Okay, but it's the same pretty much stuff. So yeah, my next time I do this, man, is in it. I'm in it. Yeah. Take me to the casket. So
and you grow, man. You mature.
Yeah.
I'm like, when you get to go through your
20s,
40s, and, now like you grow, and there's so much that you see and you learn about each other.
There you go.
And you get a rhythm. You know what I mean? It's like we already know. Like, she on my nerves. She know, and I'm. It's like we just know, and it's unspoken, and it's cool.
Cool. Now that's dope.
Yes,
well, for you coming here, I don't just be saying thank you and goodbye and kick rocks. I give what's called my swag bag.
Oh, we got the swag bag.
Come on, the swag bag. So look in and pull out, look at everything.
Right.
Check it out. Check out what's in there, brother.
Okay.
I like my guests to leave with some gift.
Okay. Oh, I love books.
Okay. What that title say? Ooh.
Oh, my 100 homies and phonies, Hollywood.
Hollywood. Ooh, there's a lot of stories, brother. Each chapter has a story in it of who I met, who was crazy, who wasn't.
Oh,
yeah. We do a little something. We do a little talk.
I love that.
That's a do-rag right there.
Oh, do-rag.
Your wife might want to, hold up here now.
Yeah. Okay.
That's official right there, boy.
Oh, yeah. There we go right there.
Ooh.
The Panic.
Come on now. And it's large. You talking about a large,
yeah,
right?
That's perfect for me,
It's
man.
good material. I don't need no jive. Slim fit,
I've used these shirts.
Okay, yeah.
I know that company.
Yeah, I don't play around now. I don't play around.
You buy $20-something. I mean, I know.
Okay, it's a nice shirt,
I know. What else we got here?
Yeah, and then if you want, sometimes you want to take a little drink.
My coffee. Listen.
What?
My coffee.
It's official, brother. It's official,
my brother.
man. Nah, man, I appreciate you, man. You come. No, Flex, thank you so much, brother.
Sir.
I'm really glad we had a chance to sit down and talk, man. Like I said, we see each other in passing, or we see each other at parties when we were younger. Never had felt like I was in competition with you, man. I was always happy for you. Yeah, I really wasn't. And like I said, when I got a chance to see you and we talked, I remember you trying to get into comedy. We were talking about that one time. You were trying to go to Texas or something. I was like, all right.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to get back going.
Yeah, get back on it. Yeah. And my
man.
mind was at first like, who's a TV guy want to be in comedy? But you were a comedian first.
I was a comedian first.
Right, you started before you got
I
to move.
started in 1989.
Right, and I realized, okay, but no, man. Go out and support this brother. When you see him on the road, come on, man. Show him some love, man. Really show him some love. He's a good guy in this business, too, and he's talented as hell, man. When I looked at your resume, I said, I ain't got time to talk about all this stuff. We're not about to do all that. We got no 4-hour show here, man. So we condensed it. So hopefully y'all learned something new, my fans out here. And if you didn't, go on Google it and hit him up on the road when you see him. Come out and support the brother. Much success on the play and everything else you do in your family, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Positive brother, man. So I really appreciate that, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank y'all. Hey, it's another episode of Pierre's Panic Room. You know how we do. It's always hot and fun up here, man. We had my man Flex Alexander here, y'all. When y'all see him, holler at the boys, show him some love. Tell him you saw him here on Pierre's Panic Room also, man. All right? I love y'all, and I'll holler at y'all later. Thank you. Don't forget to leave it in the comments. All right, there you go.
The king can't always be the damn king by itself. I need servants to step up.
Turn me up a little bit.
If you like that show, like, subscribe, and comment below. You know, hit the notification bell. Hit the subscribe button, man. We want you around. Appreciate it.